So if you could be here around 9, that would be great. Okay?
Well, listen here.
Hello, and welcome to 90 Day Fiance MK. I'm Mr. O, and today, Miss H and I will be discussing Season 4, Episode 4 of Before the 90 Days. In this episode, Ed sweats right through his shirt, we meet David, who makes Yolanda look like some sort of brain genius, Usman gives Sex with Lisa a solid C-, Darcey has a spa day, and the girls are hanging out in more ways than one, Ash gives Avery some rather ominous gifts, and Stephanie takes a whole pharmacy with her to Australia. As always, we'll have our Students of the Week, Class Dunces, and Life Lessons. If you like our show, please make sure to give us a rating and a review wherever it is you listen to podcasts. And starting next week, we'll be coming back with more classic episodes. We'll be covering Season 4 of OG 90 Day Fiance. Okay, stay tuned and enjoy.
Hello, Mr. O.
Hello, Miss H. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Today was day 1 of every school being closed.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Day 1 of homeschooling my kids for me.
Yeah? How's that going?
So far, so good. Everybody kind of seemed, it's still a honeymoon phase. We haven't, gotten into the routine. So it was all kind of like novel and how are we doing this? What are we doing? So everybody was really cooperative today. We'll see how that hangs on for the rest of the week.
Right. I'm actually really interested because our school has advised against synchronous instruction. But right. I kind of feel like, I don't know, I think what the students really need right now is synchronous instruction. So basically that means like real-time instruction because I feel like they need those opportunities to interact with one another. So absolutely. I'm going to try it out later this week with Zoom. And they have breakout rooms. And so I don't even care if they just go into a breakout room just to talk about life. Right. It doesn't have to be about school. But, it's odd that they don't get that interaction, especially because I have a lot of seniors. So they have a lot of senior things that they're missing out on. And it's such a bummer for them. Like they're not going to have prom. Right. They don't have any other dances. They don't have any pep rallies. No more sporting events. Sad time for them.
Yeah, like I said, I coach lacrosse, and like I feel really bad for my seniors. We were looking at a really good year this year. I have a senior class that's been playing together for 4 years, and there's good chances that's it. They don't get to play anymore. It sucks.
Yeah, I heard at least for NCAA that they're extending eligibility for a year. But, right. I mean, that doesn't help our high school seniors, yeah.
No, it does not. They're going to college next year, regardless of whether we let them play more sports or not. Let's hope they do at least. Jeez, please don't stay in my high school for my lacrosse team.
I would be very concerned, right?
Right.
You need to probably prioritize your life.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Speaking of people that need to prioritize their life.
Oh gosh, yes, a lot of things. So where do you want to start?
All right, let's start with I'll just go in my order. Let's start with Ed and Rosemarie.
Okay, Ed and Rosemarie. Ed is just so impressed with Rose. He thinks she's more beautiful than he expected her to be. And, Rose has avoided questions in the past. So Ed is really thrilled about finally meeting up with her because now he can corner her into answering his questions. Yeah,
just put her into so many awkward situations. That's just his MO. I feel like this whole segment was just awkward situation for Rose. And then another awkward situation for Rose.
It really was. It definitely gave me the impression, just seeing her, especially the first night that they were together, that I feel like she would have gone along with it if he wanted to have had sex.
Oh, she absolutely would have. Yeah.
And it's not because she wanted to, because, I mean, she even says that she was happy that things turned out the way and that the way that they did and that he was respectful. But it's just like, I don't know. She definitely had a grin and bear it vibe going on.
Yeah.
Where she was just, in her mind, she's going to make this work no matter what. And that means, kind of having to do things that she doesn't necessarily want to do.
Yeah, which is sad. Yeah.
I know. I don't get the impression that she's like, it's not love at first sight. Definitely not.
No, because she was like, 2 beds, especially because she was surprised it was 2 beds and she didn't bring anything to sleep in. Like,
no.
It kind of told me where she thought how things were going to go that night.
Right. So she says she feels like a princess in this big hotel. And I was like, oh, God, would you stop it with the royalty? You got prince, princess, queen, king. It's like, stop.
So bad.
Thought it was really funny that she said that her English is limited and Ed won't stop talking. And she's just so nervous because she just doesn't understand what he's saying.
And he doesn't. And he's clearly a nervous talker. Like, that's clearly how he deals with nerves, because he's also super nervous.
Definitely.
I thought it was really funny that English kind of came up, and it starts out funny, you know, when people have a little bit of a language barrier. Hopefully it stays funny, but when he looked at her dress and was like, "Oh, that dress is nice. It's just it's your color," and she was like, he just said, "It's your color," and she was like, brown. He was like, "No, that's your skin. I meant the dress."
Yeah, her English does seem really scary limited.
Mm-hmm. I get the impression that she, of all the people Ed's going to run into, she still has the best English.
Yes, very true. But I also feel like it always makes me suspicious when they don't know each other's language very well, because it's like your relationship has to be based on physical stuff. Because it's clearly not in a deep connection that you've really talked things out or, shared things. So, I don't know. Always makes me suspicious.
Yeah, if you can't even understand what it is the other person's saying, there's only so much depth your emotional connection or intellectual connection can have. I'm saying these like they're not real things, but I suppose they are.
Yeah, so they get to the hotel room, and she asks him, why 2 beds? Like, she's just confused. Why does he have 2? And he says, oh, well, he wants to make her feel comfortable. So... yeah, then we find out that she doesn't have pajamas, but that's okay because he got her a T-shirt that says San Diego.
Yes, which she had no idea what the T-shirt said or what San Diego was.
No, I wonder if she could even read in Tagalog.
Oh, that's a good question.
Their schooling is a lot different over there, where it's they don't have public schools as high or as old as we do, like higher levels. Right. So I know in Thailand, I think it's public education up until the age of 12. And then past that, not so much.
Yeah, that's about what I gathered from my... Because I do have... I teach with a lot of Filipino teachers. And that's what I gathered from them. It's about the same. It's pretty much... once you get to middle school, you have to transition to a private school. And then that's it. Yeah.
So it's not that schools don't exist, but you have to pay for it. And so if you're as poor as, say, someone as Rose, then you're probably not paying for school. So that means you stopped your education early.
So they have to do the awkward thing where they can't even change in front of each other, right? So they each take turns in the bathroom, changing. And, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. When Ed goes into the bathroom, she just pretends to be asleep. Right? She just,
I felt like she was pretending too. Yeah. She was like, oh my gosh, this is getting awkward. I don't want him to talk to me anymore. I'm just going to pretend I'm asleep. I'm going to put this pillow over my face. And I definitely thought she was faking it too. Because it didn't seem like he was in there that long. I don't know, maybe just it was edited to look that way, but he comes back out and is like, oh, do you want to watch TV? Like, he'd just been in there for 2 seconds, and he's like, oh, okay, I guess not. I guess you're asleep now.
I guess you're asleep, I guess. But it's funny because that at that point is when he was like, I think there's a lot of chemistry, and I was like,
based on what? I know. Agreed. Based on what?
I mean, is awkwardness chemistry? I guess. I don't know. There's something there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what he was basing that on.
Yeah, my only thing was maybe all his talking tired her out.
Maybe.
He's just talking.
Talk.
And so he says he really wants to make sure she likes him because he wants to be sure that he should be proposing. So, he says, I love you, my queen. It's like, oh, gosh.
Not good. No. Well, he also, he brought it up to us twice, and it hasn't come up yet for them, is he says, oh, I don't want to have sex yet because I want to respect her. But also, I want to get her an STD test first.
Yeah.
Which is a weird way to put it. I don't know. Like, it's a touchy subject to be like, I don't know. I feel like he should almost be like, I think we should both go get STD tests together, and that will be fine. Instead of just being like, before we do it, you need
like
to go
you're
get
the
tested.
dirty one.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Can you get an at-home STD test?
I don't know.
Because I don't know if they're really gonna be in a remote area.
That's
like,
true.
How easy is that gonna be?
Yeah, because I usually just like the doctor just orders one when I go for a physical. Like that's how it works. Like, you know, like that's the way it usually works. If unless I have some other reason to worry about it, it just is part of like the regular blood work, right?
Right. But I don't know. I feel like Paul and Carini, I feel like he had her do something like, I know his standard was pregnancy and STD, and I want to say that she kept on peeing on things. So I don't know if there is an at-home STD check.
Yeah, that's not going to do anything for STDs. Like, that's got to be a blood test.
Yeah, who knows? So what I thought was really funny is that poor skinny little Rose, she is just cold all the time. Fat. Yeah. Just shivering. You know, she's just like, oh my gosh, the air conditioning was on all night. I was so cold. And Ed is over here sweating like a pig. He is just hot the entire time he's in the Philippines.
Yes, it's just pure heat. I mean, she is more used to it, but also because she's so skinny. And he's,
both.
He's so big. And, you know, he spends his time in San Diego. And when he gets a little mildly uncomfortable, he just puffs in the air conditioning and he's just not used to being in an uncomfortable temperature ever.
Well, and I was going to say, California is known for having good weather. And one of the things I will say about especially Southern California is that it's just not very humid here, you know? So
That's
even
true.
If it's warm in the summertime and you're coastal, like it gets to be like in the 80s here. But it's not like, you know, humidity makes it really feel like it's over 100 all the time, right? So I'm sure that's what the situation is in the Philippines. It's like super humid where it feels hotter than it is.
Right. Well, to me, that the humidity just adds like this oppressive nature to the heat.
Oh, absolutely.
That just is totally different. Then you're right. Then the dry heat.
So they go shopping because he wants to treat his princess to a shopping spree.
Yeah, I feel like they got to be more consistent. Is she a princess? Is she a queen? Like, we gotta. If you're gonna do the gross royalty thing, let's keep it consistent.
I don't know. I don't really care at this point. But they go through the the outdoor malls in Manila. And what the heck is Ed wearing? His whole outfit had just bizarre colors all put together.
It looks like he's going on like a real safari. Like he has cargo shorts, I think, and like a weird blue button up with like the two pockets that fold over and button down. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Like,
they're almost like denim, like a light denim color.
Right.
And
yes.
then but his shorts were like yellow. Like they weren't like khaki colored. They were like very clearly like a pale yellow color. And then he was wearing red shoes. I was like, what is going on here? His whole outfit was very odd.
Well, I mean, it also wasn't clearly suited for the conditions because he's out there for about 3 seconds and he starts sweating through the shirt like instantaneously. Is just all over the place. Yeah, and he's just like, there's so many hot and sweaty people here, and I'm just walking around, and then he's confused by the stores because he has no idea how to haggle because he doesn't speak anybody's language, and...
No. So then Rose, she's trying to help him out, but I understand where he's coming from. It seems a little pushy for him. So the first thing they see is a pajama set. And so he gets really excited because he's like, oh, Rosemarie needs pajamas. Let's buy you some pajamas. And they say, how much? And he says 180 pesos.
Sure.
So Ed is fumbling around in his wallet trying to figure out the currency. And Rosemarie is just like, here, let me. And she just like goes in there, grabs his money, takes, 200 out, gives it to the guy and says, keep the change. And Ed's like, wait, what? What do you mean keep the change?
Keep the change. Right.
That's not a thing.
He's trying to mentally do like the currency conversion in his head.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of was giving Rosemarie the benefit of the doubt here, as in like speeding him up because it was like, listen, if you're going to take forever to get this out of your wallet, everybody in here is going to take you for everything. Like you're showing me I don't belong here and I have no idea how much anything costs or what it means. And like just no, here's the money. We're good. Go. Okay. Next one. Let's go. Like, so she's there to kind of show everybody that like she's in charge and she's doing the negotiating on his behalf, because if once he starts moving slow with the wallet and getting the money out and figuring out like the thing, she's like, oh no, you're gonna stick out here, stop doing that. take my money.
Right. And I mean, it isn't that much money at the end of the day, because I'm just looking it up right now. The Filipino peso, 180 is basically 350 in US dollars. So it really isn't that much, but I get it. You know, he's just like, okay, she's being a little pushy here. And then did you realize that Rosemarie cannot do simple math? I was very sad for her. Ed says, you know, like, what do you mean keep the change? And she's like, oh, it's only 10 pesos. It's like, no, sweetie. 200 minus 180 is 20, not 10.
Right.
I was like, oh, goodness. Yeah, so she continues to do this as they go shopping along, just grabbing at his wallet, just, you know, figuring things out and taking things. And he is not happy with that. He says he's uncomfortable. He's sweating like a pig. And now he just wants to go home.
Yeah, I just want to go home. She's very confused because she's like, this is just normal. I don't understand why you're... She
also has a look of like disgust on her face.
Yeah, like I can see that. I mean, yeah, because it's kind of like, wait, you just came all the way halfway across the world to come to me, to come to here, to see me where I live, and you couldn't last like 10 minutes? That's all you got?
Right.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah, she did look disappointed as well, so... it'll be interesting to see how this goes.
Hopefully they bought a more breathable shirt for Ed there.
Oh, I know, right? Oh, I did want to also, I completely forgot last week to do this. I did also want to make a correction of myself from 2 episodes ago when we were talking about Hep B, I believe. So I was saying that Hep B was the foodborne one. Hep B is not the foodborne one, but it is the one that's predominantly in Asia. That one is still transmitted mostly sexually, but any bloodborne type pathogen, you know. Yeah, so just want to make a correction on that one.
All right.
Okay, who do you want to talk about next?
Let's go with the one I have next. Let's go with David. And I'm just going to say David. I'm not going to say his girlfriend because she doesn't exist, right? Right? Like...
she may exist.
No, I think you're right. Now that I say that, you're right. She probably exists, but she's not his real girlfriend.
Oh, but she's a scammer.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So we have David 60 from Las Vegas.
Yeah, so that was so weird. It felt like this week we just traded one Las Vegas resident getting catfished to another Las Vegas resident getting scammed. Like,
yeah, they should just date each other.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Or at least start a support group or something. So yeah, so we have David, 60 from Las Vegas, who is dating Lana, 27 from Pavlograd, Ukraine. So he definitely has a thing for what he refers to as the Slavic people. Because, yeah, he says he likes the Slavic accent because of Rocky and Bullwinkle, and he said it did something for him at the age of 5. I was like, what is happening right now?
One of the skeeviest things I've ever heard.
I know. I was like, what? That's the oddest thing I've ever heard.
I pick my women because I thought this cartoon character was really sexy.
Yeah, and I thought that back when I was 5. It's like,
yikes.
What? You are the only... that she stands alone, dude. Because, yeah, that's just weird.
Not even... Okay, it's weird in itself. It's super weird that he doesn't think that's something that should probably not be sent to a TV camera. Like,
yeah, true. But it's so odd. He seems to have a lot of Ukrainian people in his life. Like, he is definitely trying to find a Ukrainian woman specifically.
Yes.
And I don't know which Ukrainian woman is going to want to be with him. He's an odd one.
Okay, but aren't you going to put off any Ukrainian woman if you go through your romantic history and all of it is all those times I tried to get another Ukrainian woman and it failed? Like, that's weird. You're going to turn people off if you have that weird, like, fetishistic desire for a very specific type of person. Like, that type of person is going to be like, that's a red flag for me. I am going to step out now.
Well, I mean, that's why he's attracted who he's attracted, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I don't know who would want this at the age of 27. Okay, at the age of 27, and we'll kind of get back to that. Even think about the age of 20. You know, he wants to basically retire and live in an RV. Okay, if you're 27, are you really going to want to spend your life in closed quarters with this 60-year-old in an RV, like traveling around? I mean, maybe the traveling part is appealing to you, but you're really limited to America.
And the kinds of places you go to in America that are
they're not that
RV based. Well, I mean, yeah. No, you go to the national parks and stuff. I mean, it depends on what you're into, right? It's very like nature based, but you can't you're not going to go to any cities. Like,
no,
you're not going to
there's no space for that.
Nightlife and stuff like that. That's all out.
Right.
Yeah, your friends, you can't have like friends that you hang out with outside of him because you're traveling the country. Like, it's definitely, I don't know, it's definitely a dream that a lot of, like, I feel like Americans, specifically retirees, have, is we'll retire, we'll buy a Winnebago, and we'll just drive the country.
Right, which seems fine if you have your partner that's in the same spot in life.
Exactly. And they've been together for like 50 years, and they're like, we're good.
We've seen everything we've seen in our town. Let's move on.
But yeah, I don't see why a 27-year-old would want to do that.
No, I don't see how either.
They can have a career. Like, that doesn't, I don't know how it works. Yeah.
No, and it's not like he has a ton of money. I mean, he wants to buy this RV, and the RV is like, what, $380,000? Which
that's
I'm not saying that's cheap at all. But he says he's going to have to start selling things in order to afford that. So if you can't buy your $400,000 RV, I don't know. First of all, we'll talk about this soon, too. He's not prioritizing what he's spending his money on, for one.
No, very much not. No.
But he also doesn't seem like he has extra money to spare.
Yeah, I assumed he was going to sell his house. Like, and live. If he's going to live in the RV, he'll sell the house, buy the RV with the house money, and then...
Which seems like a bad idea financially, because that's like a depreciating asset right there. Whereas a house is not a depreciating asset. It's like definitely, if anything, an appreciating asset.
Right. At a certain point, and I think 60 is probably too young to be in this boat, you're just like, you know what? I can't take it with me. I'm going to spend it all. Let's go. I don't care if I lose it. I want my last dollar to run out the day before I die, and then we're cool. Like, because he doesn't have anybody he's passing it on to.
No.
Or anything like that. But 60 is still, you still got a long haul that you can't just be like, not have anything left. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, that's kind of scary. Like, I feel like that's not a smart, I don't know, retirement decision. I don't know, but I don't know the details of his finances, but to me, to sell a house for an RV seems like a bad financial move. You know, that whole thing, you drive it off the lot, it's kind of the same deal. And the more you drive it, the less it's worth.
And those RVs are the size of buses. Do you know how much gas they take? Good God.
Yeah.
You measure their thing in not like gallons per mile, not miles per gallon. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. So he's going to sell everything except for his unicycle. And then for some weird reason, we get a lot of footage of him just riding around on a unicycle. It contributes nothing to the storyline. I had no idea what was happening. This dude is just
willing to give production whatever it is they want to see. Yeah, I should hop on the unicycle. Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, you look cool, man. Go ahead. Film this.
Yeah. So far, it's just him and Mothra planned to be in the RV. Mothra is a cat. What the heck kind of name is Mothra?
I thought it was I thought it was Mothra. Like
Mothra?
The Godzilla monster. Like the giant moth from the Godzilla movies.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was watching with captions on.
I think he said he had cats.
Oh, God.
Which means I wouldn't be surprised if all of his cats were like Godzilla monsters.
That's weird. All right. So then we get to hear about Lana. He says that they met 7 years ago. So according to my math, which is better than Rosemarie's math, that means she was 20 when they started talking. Which,
Ew.
Yes. Yeah.
Because he was then 53.
Yeah.
So I mean,
good.
that's the same as Nikki and Mark, but still, it's still,
Yeah, it's not good. He thinks that they've spent probably about 5,000 hours chatting.
Oh, I don't think he thinks. I think he has calculated it based on the price. Yes.
How much he spent.
Yes.
Yep. Because he spent how much?
$100,000.
What's wrong with you? That right there, that's your retirement money. What in the world are you doing?
Yes. Because to back up, Lana will only talk to him through the whatever weird Ukrainian hottie app he found her on was.
Yeah.
She won't talk to him anywhere else. And that app charges by the minute for chats.
Right. Yes. And it's like, that's why I kind of feel like she's in on the scam. I think she's real, but she works for this whatever website.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
She's getting a cut of that chat money, and that's why she doesn't want to leave the chat anywhere else. That's her money. That's how she's making a living. Yes.
It sounds like such an odd website to begin with, though, because so you can chat, like do a text chat, but it erases everything. Like after you close out the chat window, there's no way to save it. So everything, he doesn't have any kind of records of anything she said in the past. Which, I don't know, just seems a little odd. It's like, how are you charging people that much money and, like, have such limited features and restrictions?
That sounds like something that somebody who's running something that they know is illegal does. They're like, no. As soon as you log off, it deletes everything. It also could be like, well, if you pay for the premium chat, we'll archive your chat when you're done. Like,
yeah, that's true. He says he's not even bothered by how much he spent because, you know, to him, he doesn't feel lonely. And that's what he would spend on dating anyway. It's like, okay, already, you're making bad financial decisions. Maybe you should make a budget for your life. Like, budget X amount for dating in a year. I doubt it would come anywhere near 100,000.
Well, I mean, it's over 7 years. So we're still talking about, what, 13,000, 14,000 a year?
I don't think, and that's like over 1,000 a month, you know? Like, I don't think people are spending that much on dating.
At least, I hope not. Like, I don't even know how I would spend that much on dating. I don't know how I would do that. Like, can't even imagine it.
Right, unless you were, like, paying for your mistress to have, like, a house somewhere else. Maybe.
Right. That would make sense. Let me say, that's like $250 a weekend. I couldn't do that. That's
no.
Unless it was again a mistress and you had to have like, you know, a nice hotel room every time you had a date. Like that would be different.
Yeah, true.
But that would still be a date every weekend. Like crazy.
Yep. So he meets up with his friends Victoria and Dave, who've been his friends for 25 years. And coincidentally, Victoria is also from the Ukraine. And Victoria and Dave actually met through a dating website years ago. And she thinks that it's a scam because she should know she's from the Ukraine.
Right. Well, and her evidence for this is that when she was on a Ukrainian dating app, she had to pay. Like, the man didn't pay. I wanted to get out of Ukraine, so I had to pay to be on an app, and then a man found me. So she's like, I don't know which one you're on that you have to pay. This is nuts.
Yeah. So then David is talking to Victoria and Dave about Lana and making them extra suspicious of her by telling them he's attempted to meet her 3 other times. Time number 1, she stood him up. Time number 2, her brother died. Time number 3, she had surgery. It's like,
no. Especially the stood up, right? And then, like, the second time she had to think of an excuse. She was like, I can't meet him again.
Yeah, my brother died. My non-existent brother that you've never heard of, he died.
Yeah. And then the third one was like, she had a medical issue and had, it just...
right. Yeah. And it's like, well, I can't use my sibling dying again. That would be weird.
That would be weird.
I can't use death again. That'll be suspicious. Oh, right. I know, surgery.
Yes. Oh, everything is just highly... Any one of the things that we've talked about for David so far should set any, normal thinking person running away from Lana, but... David just thinks we don't understand his love. That's what it comes down to.
He's not ready to give up. I was like, Caesar, is that you?
I know.
My goodness. Yeah. Victoria, she says her situation was different, because she had to pay. And, she thinks that if you're 25 and unmarried in the Ukraine, that you're a hunter or a gold digger.
I mean, I wouldn't make a generalization about all Ukrainian women that way.
No, I wouldn't either. Different times. I mean, even worldwide, I think people are getting married later,
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, then we get to my favorite scene with him, which is the scene where he just randomly takes his computer to a pavilion in a park and sits at a picnic table because he likes to have a change of scenery.
He wants to show her the world.
He just becomes like the most stereotypical boomer with a computer anyone has ever seen.
Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness.
She sent me a little icon, and he's doing this hand thing. Isn't that cute?
Oh, he's so excited about those emojis.
Yes. Or he calls them icon.
Oh, yeah. So they're talking about the train tickets because apparently she booked the train tickets from the airport to Odessa. And she can't seem to remember where she put the tickets. I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I just plumb forgot about it.
Yeah. So she can't give him details. And so, I don't know. It's like, would you even go to the Ukraine at all at this point?
No. I would have stopped talking to her. He's been talking to her 7 years? 6.5 years ago. So I can't, go with me.
Yeah, but okay, I think he thinks it's still okay, even if he doesn't meet up with her, because he has another friend in the Ukraine, Anya.
Yeah, okay. Anya, who he met when he just went to the Ukraine. I guess he had a bunch of women lined up, and he went to Ukraine to try to date them all. This is a creepy dude.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Off the charts creepy is this guy, absent him being, scammed. He's just creepy. But Anya was too shy for him, is what he said. And it just didn't work out.
She's married now, which is kind of like, why is your husband even letting you talk to this creeper still? But Anya said she was going to meet him at the airport. So it doesn't. It almost doesn't matter that if Lana stands him up again, because at least he won't be completely alone. He
won't be standing alone in the airport. Right. Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, so Anya is even skeptical. All the Ukrainians are skeptical of Lana. So, I mean, come on, David, take notice. So David doesn't think it's a scam. He can't imagine that she wouldn't show up. I was like, really? Because literally every single person is like, this girl isn't going to show up.
Has anybody said to him, I believe you? Has he ever gotten any advice from any person in the history of his 7-year relationship that are like, I believe this is a woman that is actually into you and is your girlfriend? Nobody has ever said that to him.
No. I feel like Lana and Maria are probably roommates.
Right? Yeah.
Or sisters or something.
And they are not accountant. That's all we know about them.
Yes, they're not accountant. Right, exactly. Okay.
All right. Who do you want to cover next?
Let's talk Darcey, since she wasn't really in it too much.
Darcey.
Girl day at the spa.
I mean, the spa is just a different bar for her, right? She doesn't actually do any spa activities as much as she just has some mimosa and has a giant mimosa, apparently. Really tall, a whole yard of mimosa that she's drinking from.
Right. We kind of talked about last week, what would they do if, they knew Tom and Darcey would be broken up? They would have really boring segments. It's yep, it would pretty much look like this. Their segment was super boring. It was basically her, Stacy, Raina, just bitching about how terrible Tom and Jesse are.
But I don't know, because they're trying to get it, because they're trying to hype up this New York trip. She's going to go to New York. It just feels so forced and so staged and so fake, because you're right. We know that her and Tom are broken up and they have nothing to talk about. So they have to they're going to stage this whole big fake New York confrontation that last week she wasn't going to go to.
Yeah, Raina somehow talked her into it this week.
Right, but not talked her into going and trying to win Tom back, but to go to show how strong you are. I was I don't understand how these things, how one carries the other one.
Well, let me quote Darcey. She says she's going to empower herself to show him her strength. I was like, the fuck?
Those are the same thing. I'm gonna...
No, this doesn't make any sense.
Intelligence myself to show how smart my things are. That's my brain bee. Okay, I guess. Because
I feel you've been watching a little too much Tony Robbins.
Nothing says I don't care and I'm strong and I'm better I can move on without you. Nothing says that more than traveling a great distance to see somebody. That just seems counterintuitive.
I know. Actually, we were just kind of talking about this last week. I think when it comes to my dating life right now, there are a couple incidents where I am curious about things, but I don't want the guy to think that I'm interested.
Right.
So it's like, well, I guess I'll just be curious and not ask, because it's like I don't want them to seem like I actually care, because I don't.
Yeah, and us guys are really bad about that. Like any kind of acknowledgement for us is like, oh, she must be into me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't even want to throw that out there. I kind of want to have answers, but I don't care enough.
But there's definitely a lot of too much from guys of like, hey, they put your mail in my box, and you'd be like, oh, she gave me my mail back. Nice.
Yeah, she must really like me. Because what would a guy do? Throw it away? I'd be like, meh.
Oh, never mind. Yeah. All right. That's good. Yeah.
So we got Darcey crying for the first time this season.
Uh-huh.
That's actually
Episode
kind of a record for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This far without crying? Yeah.
Right. But not a record for her. She brings up Jesse again.
No.
My God, why are we still talking about Jesse?
I think it's 3 for 3. I don't think she's not mentioned Jesse yet. Well, I mean, because it literally is a replay. Like, Jesse brought her to New York to break up with her, and now Tom has invited her to New York. It's like one of those sequels where they just do the movie over again instead of actually coming up with a new story. Yeah.
Yeah. And they couldn't get the original actors, so they get someone that, someone else.
Right.
Like Tom is that someone else.
Right. It's like when Keanu Reeves wasn't in Speed 2. Like, okay,
right.
Sandra Bullock and some other
the
dude.
Other guy? No one even knows.
I don't know. Not Keanu Reeves. Right.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So yeah, Raina says that she needs to stick up for herself and defend herself, and that she just has to go in person and stand up to him. Then I think Stacy says, "Be strong, bitch. Be strong." It's like, I don't think those things go together. Can't say "bitch, be strong" together.
I mean,
I don't know.
It seems like they have all the accoutrements of like female empowerment, but like none of the actual convictions. Like they know the right words to say, but they do not believe it.
Well, yeah, they've definitely been watching a lot of like motivational things.
Sure.
Life coach affirmations in the morning, it's vision boards for days. Like that's definitely their life. They're living it. I don't think they have true conviction, like you said. I don't think they really, truly believe what they're saying.
No, but I don't know. The sooner we can get to the meat of this, the better. Like, let's just plow through this one.
I know. If we don't see a confrontation soon, I don't even know.
I know.
I mean, I'm torn. On the one hand, I need to see the confrontation because this is boring.
Yes.
But on the other hand, God, if I see Tom's face. Just... I appreciate these episodes that are Tom's face free. I appreciate that. All right.
So who do you want to do next?
Let's talk about Stephanie and Erica.
Okay. That was okay. Yeah.
So interesting thing. I wish I could credit the right person, but it was someone on Instagram had found out that Stephanie's family already knows that she's bi. Because Stephanie had posted a YouTube video of her talking about coming out to her parents dated years ago. Okay. So this is all fraudin'. They all know, because how we left it last time was Stephanie hadn't told her parents because she didn't feel it was the right time. So according to people who are just watching this show, they all think that no one knows. Well, no one in her family knows. But that's just not true. Interesting.
Yes. So then, that dinner becomes really more awkward because that whole dinner thing was basically them just saying, listen, we know you're going to see her because you're like in a relationship with her. Like, can you just tell us that? Like, come on. Like they're like, are you going to see who? Your friend? And if in your head, if you rewatch that scene and they already know she's bi.
Oh, also another thing that came out is that this is not Stephanie's first time leaving the country. In fact, she had been to Australia earlier in the year, not to meet up with Erica, and looks like she might have been in a different town, like not in the outback, might in like one of the major cities. It seems that her mom flew with her to LA, that she stayed in LA for a few days, and then from there she flew to Australia.
Interesting.
Yes. So this is not her first time out of the country and being so far away from home.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of fraud happening.
Yeah, that sounds like it. So, I don't know. We tried to get, it was pretty much just, she had a video chat with Erica. Yes.
Yep.
And then we have the packing and leaving scene.
Right. So back to the video chat, Stephanie seems to be jealous that Erica has a lot of friends, a very active social life, and she kind of anticipates this being problem later, just their difference in their social lives.
Yeah. That's a pretty common, like, one we've seen in the show before. It's like, you know, one person, well, we had it with, like, Blake and Jasmine last time. Like, you have friends, and friends suck. I don't want friends. Can we just hang out? Like, so
Stephanie's plan is to eat cheese and watch a movie. I was like, eat cheese? All right, okay.
She has a distinct sense of humor, and it's a rather dry sense of humor. And so, like, sometimes it's hard to tell if you're not kind of in tune with it that she is trying to, that was a joke. Like, I'm saying cheese is a joke because cheese was the funniest food I could think of. And that's the weird thing to say.
I also think it's kind of funny that if she really is just sitting around eating cheese and watching movies, that it's interesting to me that she's a YouTube wannabe star. Because it's like, if she does lifestyle on YouTube, like, her whole thing is trying to make it look like her life is interesting, you know? But the reality is that it's not. She doesn't have that many friends. She doesn't go out and do super social things. And it just kind of goes back to, I think, this perception that everybody's lives are better than yours on social media. And, like, that's just not always the reality.
No, very much not. Well, a lot of those content creators on YouTube, man, like, it's a really lot of work to put those videos together and to do it well. And so, like, you don't really have time to do a lot else. And then, you know, once they get sponsorship and stuff, like, you know how many, I know my kids watch a ton of YouTube, and, like, how many, like, unboxing videos there are. It's basically like, these people sent me this stuff. And so, like, that's it. And, like, but, like, there's no friends in the videos and stuff. And so I almost feel like it's kind of an introvert, like, activity. It's kind of an introvert thing to get into anyway. It's like, wait. I can just make things in my house, put them online, never have to deal with anybody. And, like, I can have people telling me they like me and people giving me favorites and, like, you know, and without having to actually, so I get, like, the affirmation from other people without having to actually deal with any other people. Kind of seems like the kind of people to get into that kind of thing anyway.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. So she's packing up. She's doing the sniff test. I was like, oh, God. And then she's talking to her friend, Heather, who's there. And she's saying that she hopes there's an engagement. And I was thinking, well, do you have to hope? Because in a gay relationship, there really isn't an expectation of one person over the other proposing. So if you want it to happen, couldn't you just propose?
Propose too. Yeah, you don't. She doesn't have to wait for her to propose to you. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So the one thing that bothered me when she was packing, I get that she has to pack a lot of medication.
Right.
Why were they all in the boxes still?
Right. It seems like that's very inefficient. Like, you could have taken it out of the box and then saved a lot of space in your luggage.
Just to, like, take all these boxes and just throw them in seemed really weird.
Yeah, definitely. But she's also packing stuff for Erica. She bought her a $200 purse, some pumpkin spice candles, some lotions or soaps or something she thought she would like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Australia is weird because I think I mentioned this before. There's always a weird assortment of stuff that you would think you could get that you couldn't get. Like just you said, you got pumpkin spice stuff because they never have any pumpkin spice stuff ever in Australia. Like, whereas, you know, in America, every September and October, like, you can't get any, it's hard pressed to get anything that isn't pumpkin spice. Like, pumpkin spice soap, I don't want that.
You're like, don't put pumpkin spice in everything. I just want regular. Come on.
Exactly.
That's interesting. So Heather thinks that Stephanie jumps in to relationships because of her aplastic anemia, that she is always thinking about her mortality. So Heather thinks that, you know, Stephanie actually lives a limited lifestyle. Yeah. Speaking of limited lifestyle, Stephanie brings up, and this isn't the first time that she has said something about this, but she's chosen to be celibate since her last relationship. It's like, I don't know. Isn't that what a lot of... I mean, I don't think that's that unique. I wouldn't say that everybody does it, because obviously people, like, randomly hook up in between relationships, but I don't think that's that unique. There are people out there that
it also didn't tell. It also didn't say how far apart her last relationship was. Like, when was her last relationship? Like, yeah, but it's one thing to be like, yeah, because you're right. I think there's a lot of people that just, they are only intimate when they're in the context of a relationship. And that's not crazy unusual.
Yeah.
But I guess I think it was different because I think that's not the person she used to be. And so for her, that's a change, perhaps.
Okay, I could see that. But it's like, I don't know why she keeps on saying it like it's a big deal. But all right. So she does say that...
She's trying to play up the will they, won't they, when they have sex, what's that going to be like kind of angle. I think it's a not a ploy, but a ploy. Yeah.
Right. So she says she's risking heart and health for Erica, which kind of goes back to the whole, this isn't her first time in Australia. So are you really making that big of a risk?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question.
Stephanie be frauding a lot. That's
apparently that I don't trust these. It's harder to trust the people who have an existing persona, an existing public persona.
Right, and trying to capitalize or monetize their appearance on the show.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, who do you want to talk about next?
All right, let's talk, let's go to this one. Let's talk Ash and Avery.
Okay, your favorite.
My favorite.
Oh, goodness. So... Avery is worried about what it'll be like to meet Ash, but, we find out pretty quickly because at the very beginning, she's at the airport. Mm-hmm. And he is dressed like a total douche. I was like, oh, God.
He is.
Mr. O is going to love this outfit.
He had, like, the weird leather jacket with, like, the Mad Max jacket. It had, like, puffs on here and there. And that's actually all I saw. His hair is always terrible. I can never get over his spiked hair.
It's supposed to be like that, though. Like, it's intentional, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes. I get that. And so that's what I'm saying. It's a choice. It's a bad choice. It's a douchey-looking choice.
Okay, his pants were so freaking tight. Like, they were definitely stretchy jeans. Like, if you told me they were jeggings, I would believe you. They were so tight.
Yes, I can be that. Yes, very tight jeans. Very tight jeans.
Definitely.
And his shirt was like a deep V, like a Henley with like a deep V.
That doesn't surprise me.
That doesn't surprise me.
Going back to, he's just like a total douche. He says they've been dating for 9 months, and he says it's like having a baby. It's like, okay. It's a very odd thing to say.
It is an odd thing to say. But then, okay, so if you took a drink every time Avery said Ash is a relationship coach,
oh my gosh, we'd be very drunk
every episode.
Yeah, very, very drunk. Yeah. So they meet and kiss, and honestly, they seem to be the most into each other out of any of these couples that you've seen so far on the show.
That have met.
Oh, wait, just on this season, I should say. Out of all the couples
that have met this season, most into each other, yes.
Definitely.
I would say where it's reciprocal. Because Lisa was really into Usman when they met at the airport.
Oh, God. But don't remind me about that tongue action.
Oh no.
Bleh.
We're going to be grossed out by that later.
Oh,
so
God.
We'll come back.
Oh, God, there's more tongue action. Oh, gross. So he takes her breath away. He thinks that she's everything and more, and he really sees that there's a lot of chemistry. And then he also says that Avery looks way better in real life. All of that is super believable. They really both seem to be into each other.
And then she didn't know, I don't know, I thought it was weird. She didn't know that they drive on the left in Australia.
Yeah, and then she couldn't get over it. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What are you, new here?
New here, like, that just seems like something that when you're planning your trip to Australia, doesn't they drive on the left come up at some point when you're like researching the country or talking to the guy that you've been talking to for 9-something months? It just seems so weird. It's like, have you thought about this all the way through? Because I feel like if you have, not that that's something you would be concerned about. Not that you would be like, before we get the relationship, I need to know which side of the road you drive on. But something that you, if you were seriously into this person, would incidentally come up at some point.
Okay. I don't know about that exactly, because I'm always surprised when I'm in a random country and they drive on the same side of the road as they do in the U.S. Because to me, it's kind of just like, I just assume if I'm abroad that it's likely they're going to drive on the opposite side. So, because we're America and we do everything freaking backwards, like metric system, like case in point. But
no, but most of mainland Europe is on the right side. It's only the British. The British are weird on this one. It's the British. It's the things that are based on British that are weird.
But I'm not surprised. You know what when I see people driving on the wrong side, and that's the part to me where it's like, come on, Avery, get it together. You're not in America anymore. Like this cannot be that shocking to you. Like I get it. You didn't know.
And Australia is the of all the foreign countries you could go to, the second most like America. The first being Canada, the second being Australia. Like,
right. But I don't know. She just shouldn't be that shocked. It's crazy. So, yeah. Then they're holding hands while they're in the car, and he thinks her hands are so nurturing. It's like, what the hell does that mean?
Weird ass thing to say. I didn't even know what that meant. Like,
I don't know.
It just sounds like gobbledygook feel good talk. Like that's relationship coach stuff. Like. But I did like her comeback to that was, oh, your hands are really soft.
And he's like, oh, well, that's because I use a lot of creams and lotions.
Lotions.
I can see that. That does not.
Oh, no, that is a dude
weird.
with a skincare. That is a dude with a skincare routine. That is no doubt.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, if you really think about it, he's 39. His face actually looks pretty good for 39. Like,
it does.
He uses a lot of moisturizer. Mm-hmm. Which, good for you. There's nothing wrong with that. So she wants it as much as he does. He can tell from her eyes. I was like, okay.
All right. That reminds me of when, like, George W. Bush said that he knew Putin was a good person because he looked into his eyes and saw his soul. Like, that's a weird thing to say about another president, but okay. Like,
okay.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. So they're actually staying at an Airbnb because Ash lives with his brother Antish. Mm-hmm. And Antish does not want Avery staying at the house. Probably because he's like, I don't want another woman here. I already know what goes down. I hear it all the time. I don't need this for 2 weeks. Especially this
YouTube pothead that you're for some reason dating, right? Like,
yeah, weird. Yeah, so they get to the Airbnb and he's showing her around, and he asks her what side of the bed, and she was like, you mean which room are you staying in?
Right.
Because she doesn't want to have sex right away.
Yeah, not until they connect on a spiritual level before they have sex. That's my best Avery voice I could do.
Oh, God. Yeah. He wants to build up the anticipation. So he wants to build an emotional connection. So he does that by giving her gifts. Mm-hmm. So the first gift is symbolic. I don't know what it's symbolic of, but it's symbolic.
Yeah, because we know he's into the love languages stuff. So giving him gifts, he's going to get quality time. He gets physical touch. He's trying to cover all the bases here.
Oh, God. He's like, one of these will
He's going to do an act of service next week at the beginning. Watch it. Bet.
Yeah.
Bet.
Yeah. So, yeah, he gets her roses, and they are black, which is part of the reason why I think that last week when we had Dominic, they didn't show the roses because they wanted it to be like a big reveal.
Yes, I agree with that. Production immediately was like, you know what black roses mean, right? And he was like,
of course he knows what they mean. He's like lives at the flower shop practically.
Right. So there's 2 gifts. We'll get to the second one. He's manipulating her like big time. Like he is definitely giving her gifts that seem nice, but have like dark undertones for both of them.
That's so weird because he says the reason why he gives her black roses, even though he knows the meaning, is because that's her favorite color.
It doesn't. Because the other gift he gives her are these 2 bracelets. One says Ash loves Avery, and the other one says Avery loves Ash.
God.
Right? Which again seems fine. Well, the end of the black roses, but seems sweet. Until they go into it and she goes farther. Oh no, these were the bracelets that one time he posted on social media and prompted a breakup between the 2 of them. Like so.
Oh my gosh.
So when she got there, you gave her death flowers, and a symbol of that time you broke up. Like those are your gifts.
But he says, and this is more of his like just blah talk. He says, "From darkness light emerges," and that's the reason why he gave her those roses. And then he didn't really give an explanation for the bracelet thing.
My eye roll muscles I'm gonna get a cramp in my eye roll muscles every time they're on screen. Just so hard.
Okay, so when they kind of go into the bracelet story, it just made me really annoyed with Avery.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. So the story behind the bracelet, how it led to their first breakup, was that Ash had bought these bracelets for them. And so he posted them on his Instagram. And then she freaked out because she's like, oh my God, it's overwhelming. It's too much too fast. And then she just like broke up with him because she was like, it's getting too serious. I can't deal with this.
Uh-huh. That's the kind of person I don't think I would want to get back together with.
No, she seems crazy town. Plus, can I also remind us of the fact that when she was first on, how she was talking with her friend about how she got upset with Ash because there was a picture of them up, or of her up on his Instagram, and then he took it down. Isn't that the opposite of what you wanted? Or you're asking for now? You want him to not be as serious. You don't want him posting about you on his Instagram. So he's now taking things down, and all of a sudden you're like, something must be wrong. Like, I'm not on his Instagram anymore. It's like, yeah, but you're the one freaking out over random things like this.
Right. Anytime it was because of that thing they posted on Instagram, it's not going well. Like, just stop. Just stop.
Yeah, so at the end of this, he thinks that they are connected, but she has had genuine concerns. Mm-hmm. So she wants to know who he is.
I don't know. Like,
I don't know if she's going to get answers.
Besides a douchebag? No.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that clear and obvious?
Oh, no. He is definitely, if you want to get, like, into the actual deep of it, he is putting up such a solid facade of everything. Mm-hmm. Like you will never know who he is. He is all act.
Yeah, I can see that. All right. I think we have last up, because we didn't see Yolanda and Williams. So our last up is Lisa and Usman, who I have mixed feelings about them. I find their segments really entertaining, but they're very entertaining. Yes, I'm getting more and more, like, grossed out and just over Lisa.
It is, yeah. So I am, very grossed out by Lisa.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, because it's not because of, like, who she is physically, what she looks like physically. It's like, she just, the way she phrases things, the way she put things is just gross.
Yeah. Her behaviors, her expectations, all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, even the way we start with, you know, the morning after they had ended in the hotel and they wake up and they're kind of like, you know, lovey-dovey in the bed. And then she, like, immediately goes into way more detail than I wanted to hear about their night from the night before, right?
She calls him lazy in bed, and I'm like, oh, God. Because then she just feels a need to have to tell us that he doesn't know what oral sex is, so she had to teach him. And I was like, at first I thought that she was kind of bragging about it, like, oh, I'm giving him a blowjob. And then it took me a second to be like, wait. I think she means the other way around. She
Funny that you say that, because
forced him to give her oral.
I had thought originally that she meant the other way around. I thought that she meant him going down on her. And then I was like, I don't know. And then wait, because she at some point she said something about or something about him liking it or something, and I was like, wait a second, does she think Nigerian women don't go down on guys? We know BJs are a thing in Nigeria. Right. We know this.
Oh yeah, because Michael did the BJ for real.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah, but you know, she seems to think that she's the shit in bed because, you know, she seems to think that he's also never had an experience without condoms. And I'm sorry, after talking or having Usman describe their night, Usman, I don't think, has ever used condoms in his life. He was like... So Lisa decides to show him all the condoms that her friends gave her for the trip. And he was kind of like, condoms? And he had this, like, face.
Right. And then it was funny because she was like, and that was your first time ever doing it without a condom, right? And he was like,
yeah, the look on his face. Yeah, he was kind of like, sure, yes, if that's what you think. And I was so not convinced.
No, but then they asked him about the sex, and that was
funny.
He was just like, she's like...
He was like, out of 100%... 70%. 70%. It was about 70%. But 70% is good for me.
It's a C-. Like, it's the gentleman's D. What is this? I mean, it is good enough. It falls into C's get degrees, but like other than that, that's not what you're
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so much for your secret weapon, Lisa. Right? She thought, oh, condoms guaranteed 100%.
Yes. And if you asked her, she'd be like, it was 110%. It was.
Well, it's more like
done.
70% of the time. It works 100% of the time.
Right. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So.
All right. So yeah. Then we go to breakfast with Goofballs too, right?
Yes.
And I don't know. Then Lisa gets me least on her side because they bring out food. She has like plain pancakes, and she asks like, "What is your food?" And he was like, "Oh, it's meat and fish and like something." And she was like, "Meat and fish? I'm not eating that." Like, what is this?
Okay. Have you ever heard of surf and turf? That's like a thing in America too. Like, calm yourself.
Yes. It really puts me off when like Americans are like disgusted by the local food. Just and it's not even like, especially when it's not that exotic. It was like,
oh no, it looked pretty normal. It was definitely not Michael and Angela's, like, remember their traditional Nigerian breakfast where
with the fish head or something.
Fish head or something. Yeah. Definitely wasn't anything like that. I mean, she had spaghetti. It looked pretty normal.
Right.
Seemed like an odd combination, but yeah, it looked pretty
but the roommates were put off. The roommates were put off by that. Like Usman 2 and Giant were both like, "What? You gotta like get into the culture. What are you doing here?" Right.
They think she needs to hurry up and adapt. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then they bring up Soja Boy's mom, and they describe his mom as dramatic, strict, and anti-white. I was like, oh God, this isn't good.
She doesn't like white. She don't like white.
No. Like, and she also seems to think that white people are just collecting slaves to bring back to America. I was like,
apparently. Yeah. That's what Lisa's interpretation of Usman's reasons are. But we know Usman was lying to her about this anyway.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Lisa says they're going to get married with or without the blessing. And then the friends are kind of like,
are you sure about that?
How it works here.
Yeah. Are you sure about that? And then she asks Usman, and he's something about that's the wisdom that is available when the wisdom is there, and
it's on display, and I will apply it. It's like, what does that all mean?
What are you talking about, dude?
He's like, oh, that just means I'll know in the moment. It's like, still not a good answer, dude.
Still not a good answer.
Yeah. So Usman, he pretty much lied to Lisa that if his mom disapproves that they would still get married. So Lisa, she then says that she'll return as a single woman if the mom doesn't approve. Okay. I don't know if you noticed this, but in her interviews, her hair looks really bizarre. It's like they put her on like a green screen background, and it's like,
it does look like that. I thought at first that it was like that, like it was a green screen background, and then I just think it was just really bad lighting. Like she's almost like
her hair looks so
directly
bizarre.
Overhead it, but it does look like almost like she's cut out from the background.
Yes, it very much does. Yeah, it kind of makes it look like she's wearing a wig.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes the hair look fake. Yeah.
So then Usman also, speaking of looks, they did his intro card with just him, I want to say, and he's starting to look so aged already. Oh my God, Lisa, smoking around you for like 3 days already.
Already, just
all the stress and the smoke. It's not good for you.
No. I just at some point, Usman did a impression of her, like she's always like it was so funny. Anyway.
Yeah, so they're starting to head back to Kaduna?
Yeah, Kaduna, because they had spent the night in Abuja.
Right, and then it was interesting. Did the roommates stay in the hotel too? Because they were just there.
Yeah, I don't know if they stayed in that hotel or another hotel, but they were around. Like they were in Abuja too, right? Yeah.
So they all get in the car to go back to Kaduna, and then they're stopping off in Kaduna to see where he lives. But then they're going to head back to or go to North Nigeria at some point to see his mom. But in the meantime, Lisa gets to see where he lives, and on their ride up, she is talking about how she's worried about his followers, his fans, and his friends. She says he has too many. They keep blowing up his phone. And then as evidenced by he's getting a couple texts.
Yeah.
Just a couple.
I know, but like the one, they were packing up the car and his phone was ringing on the, well, the other thing too is I think he actually was getting phone calls. Like it was like bzzz, bzzz.
Yeah.
But like it rings and she's sitting next to it. And then like as soon as he gets back in the car, she's like, you better check your phone. Like it was blowing up. It was going crazy. Like it's like, you got one phone call. Like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah. So he says that she's even more controlling in person. So already, I don't think this is going to work out for them. Like Usman is already, he's done. It's not even been 24 hours. It has not even been 24 hours. He's already, said something about her belly, said that it's like 70% he's into the sex. He's already like saying if his mom says no, that, it's done for. And he said that she's too controlling. Like, does she have any redeeming qualities other than the fact that she's American?
No.
At this point, I don't think she does.
No, she doesn't. Yeah, because he's not into her physically.
No.
She has nothing going on like that his parents would approve of. He is not a fan of her personality, so
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he might be thinking about this and like, okay, I'm ready to cut my losses.
I think he kind of almost says that. Like later he's talking to his friends about it. Like they come in and they're like, "Yo, we need to talk about this girl because she is freaking nuts." Yeah. Right? Yeah. In so many words, that's basically what they come to. Like, dude, are you sure you're into this woman? He's basically like, listen, she just got off a long flight. Maybe she's stressed out. Maybe that's it. But if she continues like this, no, we're not going to stay together.
So she is just dumping on the house that they live in. So she was like this bathroom, like, what are you doing? Like, you all sleep in this bed. This is a kid bed. Like, what? Mm-hmm. And I mean, Lisa has extra high expectations because she's somewhat under the impression that Usman is this rich Nigerian celebrity. And so she says, this is not how celebrities live.
Yeah. So we had, already kind of ascertained that Usman is not as famous as Lisa thinks he is.
Right.
So this is a continuation of that.
So I don't know. I don't see super high things for them. I believe they've actually had some things come out in Instagram even more recently that that wedding that I had thought wasn't really a wedding. So so at least we can say that it doesn't appear that they are married, and if anything, they've been like insulting each other on Instagram.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I heard some of that. Like I saw one where she said he had a lot of body odor or something. Like it was. It did not seem like
and he said the same about her too. So it's. Ugh. But I mean, you can tell. I mean, based on this segment, this episode, it's not good.
It's funny because they kind of set it up at the beginning to look like Angela and Michael, and it's like, it's not going that way. It's right. He is not going to stick around for this, and she's not going to put up with it. So, all right, at least we're not repeating storylines. So, that's
right. Yep. Okay, so I don't think we missed anyone, right? That was it?
Nope. I think, let me flip through real quick. I think that's it. Yep.
Okay, student of the week. Who did you have?
I put Rosemarie. For just kind of bearing with Ed as he was being very Ed. Like, he was a lot to deal with, like, between the talking, the nervous talking and the chatting and the going to the hotel and the things and they go into the market and being nervous about it. She kind of just took it in stride and just kind of went along with it. So I gave it to Rosemarie.
Okay. I'll have students of the week. Usman's friends. I feel like they were just trying to keep everyone honest. It wasn't even like they were picking on Lisa. They were just trying to like say how it was. I thought they were super helpful. They were just super supportive of Usman specifically. And they just seemed really nice. Like, I like his friends. And we said this last week too, but they didn't change my mind. And so I think they deserve students of the week.
No, I think I like them a lot better than, in terms of not entertainment factor, but in terms of like actual like people, a lot better than the goofballs, because they have similar concerns, but they're much more tactful about bringing them up and talking about them, and not just like giggling in her face. Like,
right. I mean, they seem like nice guys. And like I said, like the fact that they've been helping her with her luggage this whole time, I think is really nice. It's very considerate of them. Right. And driving them around, like they didn't have to do that either. Yeah. What about your dunce?
David, just because he's dumb and creepy, and that's just a magical combination that just puts you right in the dunce category when we meet you. Just so creepy and so dense.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. In fact, I had David, and then I was like, Mr. O is for sure going to pick him. So I had a backup just in case you did, because I was like, oh, we can't have the same one. So my backup was actually Avery. And the reason why I said Avery is dunce is just purely because of the breaking up over the bracelets. Like, when I heard that, I was like, idiot. Like, and now you're going to turn around and be like, this is my soulmate. It's like, shut up.
And I kind of go on Ash for that, too. Like, if she breaks up with you over an Instagram post where you put up on a present, like, over nothing, and just completely breaks it off.
Nothing.
When she wants to get them back together, I'm like, no, you're going to break up with me over nothing again. I can't do that. Yeah.
Well, and she probably did the other 2 times because, I mean, she keeps on saying, I'm the one who broke up with you. So, obviously, I'll be interested to hear what reason 2 and 3 are, but definitely seems to be her trying to shut it down. So, I don't know. That's crazy town to me. What about your life lesson?
All right, so my life lesson is also about Ed and Rosemarie, and it's directed at Ed. And because we didn't talk about this when he came up, but his continuous search for affirmation is infuriatingly frustrating.
It is.
Just like he gave her the t-shirt. It was like, here's the t-shirt. Do you like it? Is it good? Do you like it? Is it nice? Are you happy with it? Is it good? Do you like it? Are you happy with it? And like everything he did for her, he just kept saying that. Do you like it? Do you like it? Are you having a good time? Is it nice? Okay. Do you like it? Are you happy? Like that you can't do that. It kind of actually ruins the gesture when you do that, because it makes it very clear that you did it to feel better for yourself. Like what I really wanted was for you to like me. So did you like me better now? Do you like me better now? And so that was my life lesson. You can't do that.
It's kind of like, and I feel like it's kind of like, the people who do like charitable things because it makes themselves feel better as opposed to doing it to help other people.
It's almost like, and I don't mind if you do it and it makes you feel good to do it. I don't like the people who do the
but it shouldn't be the primary
motivation. Because the recognition, they want the recognition for doing something well. And and that's what makes them feel better. Not like the actual, I feel like I did good. Like, it's okay to feel like you did good. But to be like, I feel good that you recognize me for doing something good. It's like, that's a different story. Yeah. All right, your life lesson?
My life lesson is inspired by Darcey. Breakups don't need to be this grand gesture. They can be low-key and not dramatic. And I definitely feel like you should consider the time spent in your relationship when deciding what is the appropriate mode of communication for breaking up. Because I feel like, her and Tom haven't been together for that long. A phone call is absolutely appropriate, especially since they're long distance. I don't see why they're so insistent that it has to be in person, but let's say you're 5 years and you're living together. Yeah, text message, breaking up over text message is not appropriate. But you kind of have to assess, but it doesn't mean like blanket statement. Everybody has to break up in person, because it doesn't need to be like so dramatic like that.
It doesn't. But I feel like in this case, their relationship is completely based on a TV show. So breaking up on the TV show is probably pretty appropriate.
Yeah, that's true. But for everybody else, breaking up over text is fine in this situation.
That what person you spent 5 days with together, like 2 months ago, 6 months ago. Yeah, phone is fine.
All right, so we are, as a nation, supposed to be like social distancing and self-quarantining, depending on where we're at in life and who we interact with in life.
And who we interacted with, right. I saw one in here, the difference between the terms, and it's like, you know what? None of these are any different. Like, I still do the same thing, whether I'm social distance or self-isolating and all those. So, yes, We are all stuck in our houses is what the long part of it is.
Yeah. So as a result, we will be starting our classic season 4. When did you want to start that? Next week?
Next week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll have a classic episode out next week. And then for those of you who listen to our Love After Lockup, the season finale is on this Friday. So possibly next week or maybe the week after, we'll also be taking over our Love After Lockup podcast channel and be posting on Love is Blind. Originally, we had the poll to have you all decide, and then this all happened, and we're like, we have time for both.
Yeah, I have time for both now. Exactly.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, but that means I'm gonna have to stagger out my my watching Love is Blind now. So that was on my binge list for the social isolation. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I now have to go back and watch it and take notes, which is not as fun as just watching it for fun.
It isn't. Right. I can't zone out. I can't zone out and look at my phone and be like, wait, who's this person again? Go back.
Yeah, I definitely fell asleep during one of the episodes, having nothing to do with it being boring, just because I happened to fall asleep. And I woke up and I was like, can I figure out what's still going on? Yeah, I think I'm fine. I just kept trekking on.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point of shows like that. You're not supposed to have to be thinking about them hard.
Right. So, yep, there's a lot more content to be had in the short coming to kind of fill in the blanks with all of our having to find our entertainment.
Right.
So we will see you all soon, one channel or the other.
Pretty soon. Yeah, we'll just keep putting out content. How about that?
Yeah.
You'll get it.
All right, and also keep in mind that it's free. So if you would like to give us a rating, we would really appreciate that. Constructive criticism is also always helpful, and we will see you all soon.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.